All right, so today we're gonna be changing the oil on that truck right there. I got some Castrol 5W30 and a Mopar MO 285, which are the correct numbers of stuff you want to use for changing your 2004 Dodge Dakota with a 3.7 V6. I believe it's a 4-speed automatic transmission. And yeah, so that's just what you want. That's just the right stuff. And so we're gonna come and set our stuff over here. You know, changing oil, it's a lot easier on a lifted truck because you don't need to put it on ramps or anything. And you know, the way you see how your oil is low is come in here and pop the hood right there and come out here, and it's usually a safety latch. It'll lift up, and you want to do this after your truck's been running a little bit, and then let it sit for a little bit. So you're gonna pull this little thing out right here, and pulling out the first one doesn't really matter. So you're gonna pull it out the first time and then wipe it off good. Oh crap, hold on, let me fix that right quick. Shouldn't get back in there. But then you want to put it back in. Shit, if it'll go back in. But dude, let me fix this right quick. And come over here. That would suck. I'm glad I saw that. But now that it's sat back in there for a little bit, we'll pull it out. And look. Right here at the end of it. Go into the light a little bit. Go look right into the end of it. Focus. Focus. Come on. Focus. Focus. Come on now. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little checker pattern on there. There you go. And I kind of held it backwards a little bit, but you want to make sure it's on that checkered pattern. If it's under, you need to change it. If it's on the lower side of the checker, you need to change it. Now, mine was right there on the upper side because I accidentally held it backwards a little bit. Oh shit, now it won't come back and focus the right way. Come on, man. There we go. All right. So we're gonna get in here. Son of a bitch. Gonna get in here and crap, the lanyards aren't even on the thing. And bring it over here to where we're gonna work on it. And I have a lifted truck, so it's gonna be a lot easier. I don't have to put it on ramps or anything or jack it up. But if you don't have a lifted truck or you're doing it on a car, it'll probably be a little bit harder because you have to put it on ramps. But do not check your oil while you're on the ramps because it won't actually be at the right number. Now you're gonna want to do this while everything's off. Which is generally a good policy. So, a good rule of thumb is always leave your stuff in the box, like this oil filter. I'm not gonna pull it out until I'm ready to put it on, just to keep from getting dust or dirt in there. It's just a good idea. But so for changing oil, you're gonna want your oil. Let me open the thing up real quick. Son of a bitch. Need to replace this. Damn it. Come on. There we go. Right. But also, it's okay to combine older oil and newer oil as long as it's same brand, most of the same stuff. Yeah, it should be good. Then I think for a wrench, all you should need, crap, I forgot what it is. I'm just gonna have to bring some of them out here. I'll bring a non-16th, half, and then let me see if it might be a 10 mil, which, believe it or not, I don't know where it went. Damn it. You never have a fucking 10 mil, dude. What's this one? Whatever, I don't think it's metric. So, I've got my 2 wrenches that I'm gonna try. And some extra oil wrenches. You're gonna want that thing right there, which is a drip pan. It's just to keep your oil from getting all over the ground. But this thing sucks, so it gets all over the ground anyway. So I'll toss it up under there. And just so it's a little bit less uncomfortable while you're on the ground, I use a sleeping bag right here. Put it down while I'm working. Oh crap. And also I forgot, you don't really need this, but it's a good quality of life tool to have, is some shit. Damn it. Let me get the battery back up. Is these things right here. If it's been a while since your last oil changed, sometimes your oil filter gets stuck on, and these are just some things to get it off easier. All right, so now that everything's down here, I'm gonna crawl up under here. And you guys are gonna have to sit there for a second and look at my tire, because I refuse to edit this footage. So let's hope I get it right the first time. We're gonna push my sleeping bag up under here and slide my oil pan where I can reach it. And toss our, ow, shit. And toss our wrenches over there. Where did I put, crap, where did it go? I don't know where I put my oil filter wrench. There it is. All right, so slide our sleeping bag up under there. Once again, not a necessity, but it's good to have. And you don't want to do this off of a freshly running truck, because, or I guess any vehicle, but it tends to get really hot under here. So what you're looking for is, crap, this is kind of hard to do. Ramps could have been used, but this thing right here is the oil pan. It should be next to your transmission. And that little plug right there is the drain plug. And that is what you unhook to drain your oil, given the name, obviously. And now, let's see, it is not a non-16th, so what's wrong on that one? Let me see if I can find my other wrench. Oh crap, I think that's it. That's the 1/2. 1/2, okay, so it's a 1/2. Man, this is a cramp. I'm gonna get my ramp, so I'll catch you on a little bit. Oh, I guess I won't, because I'm not editing this footage, like I said. So, back out from the shadows. We're gonna move our stuff just so we don't run into it. I'm cool leaving the wrenches under there. Normally I don't use these, but I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening now, but now everything's cramped. Where the fuck did the ramps go? Well, let me find my ramps. There they are. Okay. So you can use a jack, but since you're not working on the reels, the ramps are generally more effective. What you want to do, line it up by that wheel right there and kind of give it a good smack. Make sure it's seated up under there. And sometimes it's a lot easier to have somebody tell you when you're at the top of the ramp, but it's not necessary. Like I said, take it, on it up with your wheel, and just give it a good shove up in there. And we're gonna hop back in the truck, start her up, power and drive. Shit. Give her a little gas. Hold on. All right. So you can tell it was a big jump all of a sudden, I'm gonna guess. We are on our ramps. Don't worry about that. They kind of tilt like that sometimes. It just kind of happens. So what we're gonna do is take all our big shit. Actually, this stuff doesn't really need to go into there right now. That can go into there. Now that we got some more room, we're gonna crawl back down here and go up in here. And ow, son of a bitch, that hurt. So now we got a better view. That is your drain plug and your oil pan, and that is the transmission, which is seated next to. And what you're gonna want to do is make sure that the drain hole on your drip pan is pointed downhill. That way oil doesn't pile up, because it will come out fast. So we're gonna take our, what is this? The 1/2. I don't know where the 9/16 went. There it is. I'm gonna throw it out there because I don't need it. But let's hope it doesn't come out all at once. But you wanna put it on there and gently loosen, maybe. And see, this is why you don't put it on there too tight, because you don't want it to get stuck. There we go. All right, break it loose. I'm gonna want to take it out a little slow, just because it tends to come out all at once and you don't want it to do that. It's a little hot because I just drove to town and back to get my oil. Shit. And see, that is a textbook example of what not to do, because I just absolutely messed with the trajectory on that, and it is pouring out of the thing. Once again, this shitty ass oil pan. I don't really know. Okay, well, now it's going in the hole, right? Kind of. Like I said, shitty oil pan. So that's kind of a bad job on my part, but you get the idea. Only problem is there's now a pool of oil next to me, and it's kind of hot, so that sucks. Well, I accidentally ended the video, which not good. I didn't really want to have to edit any footage together, but so we're out and we're still changing the oil. It's still dripping a little bit. I don't know if you can really see the stream, but it is dripping. And that is our next step, which is our oil filter. But while the last of that oil is dripping out, I'm gonna go acquire a rag, because like I said, I accidentally got oil all over my hand, which like I said, isn't really a problem. It's just kind of the fact that it's the phone hand and now both of my hands are dirty. Oh shit. And Dad had to go and clean this fucking building. No, I can't find the rags. There it is. Okay. Yeah. Set it right there. You can stare at the wall for a little bit. I'll wipe my hands off. Wipe my sweat too. It's hotter than a motherfucker out here. All right. Like I said, you don't really need a designated rag, but this is just an old shirt, which works just as well. So let's go see if our stream is done streaming. I don't see any more of a stream. Also, do not lose this little shit. He's important. He also kind of hot, so I'm going to put him down. Okay. Now let me There's a little bit still coming out of the thing, but it's mostly dissipated, which should be good now. So we're gonna come out and grab, we don't really need the 1/2-inch wrench. I'm gonna throw it back in there. But what you do need for this next step is your new oil filter, and not really necessary, but oil filter wrench. And you also your drip pan, which we're gonna pull over here and kind of let some of the excess drain, because I didn't really have it pointed as downhill as I thought it did. So we're gonna let it drain in there. But as you can see, that is textbook of what not to do, because there's now a big ass puddle of oil on the ground, which isn't supposed to happen. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's not supposed to be like that. Now, for the next step, you're pretty much guaranteed to get some oil on the ground just because of the way everything's situated in here. But you want to come up in there and, oh, let's forget about the best angle to go about this. You shouldn't need the oil filter wrench. Let me use mine. It puts you out of landscape mode, maybe. Well, I don't know. Oh crap, we're in 4.2x. It's not good. Okay. You don't really need it. Most of the time your thing is just hand tightened on there anyway. It is still hot though, so I'm gonna use the wrench. Also, my hands are oily. So, let me see if I can prop you up. I don't know if you're gonna sit right there. So I don't know if I want to sit you right there because of the amount of oil that's gonna come out of here. Jam you right in there. So what you're want to what you're gonna want to do is come at it from whatever angle is the easiest, which is honestly kind of hard to figure out. This is not how you're supposed to use this tool, but well, maybe I'm not going to use it that way. Shit, I don't know how I came at this the first time. Oh, well, we're going to figure it out together. So. Can I come at it from in here? Probably not. Okay. Let me try it with my hand again. Actually, let me go get my rag. Here it is. Damn. This thing does not want to come off. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to use the wrench. I'm gonna try to come at it from the top. Maybe not. Okay, well, I will not be coming at it from the top. Oh damn. I don't know how good of a view you guys are getting of this. I'm kind of not really doing a good job. And I done got my phone all dirty, but we're all good. Try to come at it from the top this way. Except, well, I don't know how to get that angle without holding the phone. This would be a time where like a GoPro or some shit would come in handy. But I am poor and do not have one of those, so... Hate to break it to you, you guys just aren't gonna get to watch this part. Let me move the phone away, that way. No. Oil befalls upon my phone. Ah. Ow. Ow, son of a bitch. I must have tightened this to all hell the last time I did it. Holy crap. It's not wanting to come off. Try turning it the other way. Ow. Ow. Sharp ass piece of metal, dude. Damn it. This thing is not wanting to come off. Holy shit, that thing's hot. Oh. I'm just gonna pause it so you guys don't sit through any more of this shit. Alright. After a long and laborious process and a bunch of direction switches, we have gained the ability to take off our oil filter. So, like I said, this is the part where you're gonna get a bunch of oil on the ground regardless of how you do it. On the ground, on your hand, wherever. And you're gonna take the oil filter out, and this drip pen has a dedicated spot to set it on. You could set it there, or in that little thing back there. I don't feel like moving it. But, like I said, this is the spot where you're gonna get a bunch of oil all over everything, including yourself, which rag is probably a necessity I should have talked about in the start of the video, but it's all good. And after it gets done dripping out, you can take it up, take your little rag, because it will drip on this little bracket, and wipe it off with your rag. And after that, you're going to make sure your thing is drained, which mine was not. So we're going to set it right there and wipe our hands off again. Holy crap, it's hotter than a motherfucker out here. Okay, so after it's all drained, you're gonna want to make sure that that O-ring on the oil filter is still on the oil filter. If it gets stuck and comes off of the oil filter and gets stuck on that piece right there, if you can't tell, I'm pointing at that one, that little silvery part. Shit, the oil filter fell over. Yeah. If it is still on that silvery part, you want to go and peel it off. But if it's on here, you're all good. That little black ring is what's going to be on there. If it's not going to be on there, it's silver or some shit, I don't remember. But if you leave it on there, or if it gets stuck, or if it is not on the oil filter, let me get out of here. It's got to drain for a second anyway. If it is not on the oil filter, it is still stuck on that little spot. And then you'll have two O-rings, which one would think that might be good for closure, but it's not, because one of them will probably dry rot. And then it's just going to cause a shit ton of leaks, and it'll get stuck and all that shit. Let me put this back where it's supposed to go, because I don't need a non-16th. And another useful thing to have when you're redoing your oil is for the refilling part. I don't know if Dad got a new fucking funnel or some shit, but that's definitely a new one, which I've never seen before. But there is our oil funnel, which I don't know if I actually want to use it. It's kind of dirty, so I'll throw it back down there. And I'm gonna grab this one. I don't know if it's for oil, but I'm gonna use it for oil. Damn it, it's still got dirt in it. So since it does have dirt in it, I'm gonna make over here and grab our green one, because if I have to clean that anyway, I'm going to use the right one that I know for sure is the right one. As you can see, it's got a bunch of dirt and dust in here, which you do not want. You guys are going to get set on the hood right quick while I clean this out. And I'm going to take our oil rag. Doesn't really matter if it has dirty oil on it. Or not dirty necessarily, but used. If it has used oil on it, doesn't necessarily matter. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You usually want to make sure that there's no dirt or grime or dust or anything that isn't oil on your oil funnel. I wouldn't wash it with water, especially right before you use it. You could just wipe it down and make sure all the dust is off of it. But what you're gonna do with this funnel right here is, shit, I dropped my phone, is you're gonna come up here with it, and I kind of forgot where my oil hole is. Let's climb up on our custom-made winch bumper featuring me and my grandpa. Shit, I actually can't climb up there without. I probably could if I wasn't holding a phone and a funnel, but we're gonna use, sure, these, I don't know about that. We're gonna use these tires right here. Could probably give me a big enough boost to get up there if they weren't filled with fucking water, dude. We're gonna take this tire over here and use it as a little step stool. I would normally use that archery target, that crossbow target right there, but my dad has set it aside for holding up his air compressor, which kind of sucks because I don't actually know if he needs it to hold up the air compressor. Like if something's wrong with it, but wait a minute. Might not even need the tire. We set the funnel down, top of our engine. Let me set you guys can look at the beautiful sky if you can actually get a view of it. I don't know if the hood's blocking your view or not. But we're gonna climb up on. Still a tire, but actually. Shit, this tire sucks for standing on. In that case, we'll climb up on. Shit, maybe not. Hell, there's not really a good way to go about this. These plastic shits in my rim, it's kind of hard to. Fuck. Okay, well. Actually, we don't need to have it up there anyway. I'll be able to reach it when it's back on the ground. So we're gonna take our tire back over here. Leave our funnel there. And we're gonna set our tire back down. And we're gonna go, we're gonna go back down here. And it looks like, ow, I hit my head. All of our oil has pretty much drained out. And let's check the filter. It's all drained out, so we're gonna set our filter back down and grab our new filter. Remember not to open your stuff until it's time to use it. And pull out our new filter. Mopar branded, not sponsored. Would love to have a sponsor though. And see, that kind of gives a good little diagram how to, shit, if it would focus, I could show you. Holy crap. Focus, please. There we go. A diagram of how to do it. Like I said, we already wiped down up there. And yeah, that is a good thing. I almost forgot about that. You want to take some of your old oil, a little bit on your fingy, and put it on this O-ring. Fuck, not O-ring. Make sure it's just good and lubed up. Pause. And that way you get a good seal. Crap, dropped it. And you're gonna take it and put it up there. Let me get it started for. This does not seem like the right oil filter. I believe we have made a mistake. We have indeed made a mistake. So, I guess don't listen to the Google AI on what oil thing to buy. But, as you can see, it does not fit. So, that sucks. I guess the Google AI just fucking lied to me. So we're gonna put it back in the box, and we're not gonna reinstall the old oil filter because that would not be good. We're gonna put down our phone screen because it's covered in sweat. And we're gonna contact our father and be right back. After a phone call with Padre, he said after work he's going to pick us up the correct oil filter, because the one I got from Walmart, which the Google AI told me was right, and you know, that's kind of my fucking fault for trusting a robot, but it said that one was the right one, and I guess it's not, so fuck me in the ass. But notice how fucking gigantic that box is, and how fucking stupid you would have to be to mistake that box for the size of that little tiny oil filter. So I guess I'm just a fucking moron for thinking that I got the right one. So I guess I'll come back to you guys when I actually get the right oil filter. And yeah, I guess, I don't know. All right, so we are back after our little delay. I'm wet because I'm fresh out of the pool, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to install our, whoops, let me get it out the box, correctly sized oil filter. See, look at that, they're about the same size. So that's a good thing too. That box has the receipt in it, which is always a good thing to keep. And once again, the spoiler messed up. So what you want to do is put it up in there and turn it tight. They're kind of hard to get crossed over, so on there. Ow. Don't get it as tight as you can with your hand, but get it a good way tight. Just know it doesn't leak. All right. Now that it's on, we're gonna back it off of the ramps and pull everything out. Ow, that hurt. Fucking bumper digging in the back. All right, I did a little off-camera mining, and now we are off of the ramps. And we're gonna take our oil funnel, and now that I actually found the spot where the oil goes, take our oil cap off. Shit. Ah, damn. Let me use our oil filter wrench because it's so hard to take off for some reason. That should loosen it up at all. There we go. Ow. Alright, so once you get your oil cap out, you want you to take your funnel, nice and clean of course, and slide it in the hole. Right, like yeah. Come on now. Like yeah. Actually, like yeah. Then you take, of course, still the correct oil, but the lowest amount of it you can find. Oh, this one's unopened. Is it? It is. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. And you want to get it nice and open, which you can also do with your anything or your fingers if you're just built like that, I guess. And you want to pour it in now. As you see, I kind of spit a little bit, but you know, if you're good, shit. And I have forgotten the key step, because I am also still a moron. I forgot to put our oil cap back on, which is not good. So, don't be like me, once again. You guys already know to take the oil cap off. Just don't tighten it too much. The same way as putting it back on. Yeah, you guys know what I meant. I'll be right back. A little more off-camera mining, and we have our oil cap back installed. Like I said, it's the same as taking it off it backwards. And you just got to make sure that you don't tighten it too much. Wait till you feel some resistance, and then give it a little nudging, I guess. But that is our first quart of oil. Not really a full quart, not even close, because like a dumbass, I forgot to put on the fucking... Damn it, camera, would you focus? There we go. Because once again, like a dumbass, I forgot to put on the oil cap. Or not the oil cap, the drain plug. Drain plug. Once again, stupid of me. Now I'm gonna set you guys down while I open this other thing of oil. For some reason they decided to make this shit stiff as hell. Alright, and like I said, you can use your oil filter wrench to kind of get down in there, and then you just kind of use the thingy, the phalanges, to open the rest of the way. And then you got to be a little careful here. I'm gonna try to do it one end because I got you guys. Alright, you're just gonna pull it in there nice and easy. Ugh. Not at all like that. Don't do that. Shit. Man, I didn't think it would take the whole thing, but it did. Alright, well, I guess it didn't take the whole damn thing. It took some of that one because I'm a moron, but let's check down here and make sure there's no leaks. Something I probably should have done before I dumped the whole thing in here. Let's get a good look up on that. No leaks coming from our oil filter. And I don't see anything coming from the drain plug. That is just the stuff we spilled, so don't worry about that. And now we're gonna crank her, and that way she can get a little settling in. And while we're letting her run, we're gonna, well, let me take you guys at a 6X. While we're letting her run, we're gonna do some cleanup work. I'm gonna take my earbud out because I'm kind of getting a little tired of listening to music for today. Damn it. That's hard to do with one hand, so I'm setting you guys down. Alright, and we're back up. So now you want to take your jugs of oil. And also take your filter out. And put your cap back on. It's good and tight. And what you can do with your oil is take the old jugs and put your funnel up and down. Right and down. Actually, I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to spill oil everywhere. That's a day for later, but you can use burnt oil as a very good fuel source. Just a good tip of info. Where did the little cap go? Is it under or there it is? Yep. And I was probably a bit early on this one. It looked bad after a day of driving, but once again, never want to judge it based off of that. You gotta let it sit a little bit, especially if you're gonna actually work on it, because it does get insanely hot down there. And then you're gonna take your old oil filter and drop it in the box from the new one and close it up. And put it over here from the last one. And we're gonna come gather up all our tools and equipment. All ramps can come over here. And we're gonna grab all sleeping bag and rag, quote unquote rag. And toss our sleeping bag back over in this corner. Pick up our rag, once again, quote unquote rag. And come back over here and grab our funnel, 1/2-inch wrench, and oil filter wrench, and put them back where they go. Try to not trip over the gas cannon. Oil, funnel, and our 1/2-inch wrench. And as for the oil pan, it's kind of a two-hand job, so I'll just do that when I'm done recording. But see, that is textbook what not to do. There should not be oil all over the ground right there. But on the contrary, look at this beauty in here. I know it's kind of a mess in cables, so that's mostly from the winch and the light bar up here. But other than that, she's a beauty. I'm kind of planning on putting a little cold air intake on her so she can get a little bit more horses. And once I get a nice disposable income, I'm gonna swap the old 3.7 out for like a 5-something, like a 5.8 V8, 5.7 V8, some shit like that. They should get a little bit more power. That'll, of course, we have to already have a dedicated like daily driver and all that shit. And this will just kind of become an off-road truck. But she's a good truck, and that is a very, oh shit, let me actually check our dipstick. Come over here, let me bring the shirt over here that way, because this test is not going to be accurate whatsoever. So, we took our dipstick out and dried it off, and now we're going to take her and shove her back in the hole. And we're going to twist her around a little bit and pull her back out. And whoops, I did it all over the place. Let me do it one more time. Oh, crap. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to get back to you guys on this. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. So, just take this as an amateur, very amateur of how to change your oil on your 2004 Dodge Dakota 3.7 V6. And I will catch you guys on the next one.